the whole story in A Most Puzzling Murder takes place on Erie Island. And this is an island in the middle of nowhere. It's built like a jagged outcrop. I think the description is it's built like weapons of war. It looks like a arrowhead, and perched precipitously on top of this is Scruffmore Castle, which again is a most inhospitable place. The weather around the island is terrible, and it's ruled by a magical monarchy. So Mordecai Scruffmore is the king of this magical family, and he rules this island. And yeah, again, I got to play around with magic. I got to come up with world building, and I got to go with very gothic, dark, and stormy vibes for this place. Because even though it's modern day, the island has no electricity, so it's all gaslit lamps, it's cobblestone streets, and engines do not work near the castle. So it's carriages and horses. So it's kind of, like I said, gothic, dark and stormy vibes, but also it almost feels like historical fiction on the page, but it also is very modern. So that world building was a lot of fun as well. The Scruffmore family, they were so diabolical. That was so much fun because all the other books I've written from the point of view of very real people, and even my witches, they were women who were damaged and who had struggled through life, but were essentially really good people. This is the first time I got to write really diabolical people on the page. They're royals and they're fighting for succession. And so each one is worse than the last. The family is convoluted. Throughout the book, there is a evolving family tree. As this unknown family historian keeps crossing things out and adding new things as they are reveals, as new children are revealed, and as paternity is revealed to not be as one would have expected. So it was a lot of fun to get into Mordecai Scruffmore's head, and to just write these people who are just really evil, and narcissistic, and who have murder on their minds. I did not plot this book. I am not a plotter. I am 100% a pantser. And I've pantsed every book I've ever written. And I tried to plot this book. But as soon as I know what's going to happen, I have zero desire to write it. And so my challenge was, can you pants a closed room murder mystery when you do not know who's going to die, when you do not know who the murderer is, when you don't know why they've been murdered? And I set that challenge for myself. And I said, if I give my main characters protagonism, if I know what they desperately want, if I know how much they will plot and scheme to get what they want, and if I follow them, can a plot organically unfold from there? And it did. It 100% did, because Destiny is the kind of character who notices everything. Her mind never stops working. And so I would put her in scene, and she would notice something from a tertiary character that I hadn't even thought about. And suddenly I was like, interesting, that tertiary character is not a tertiary character. And I would zone in on them and suddenly check their motivations. The only thing I had to do was halfway through the book, because there are so many point of view characters, including that of a raccoon. Halfway through the book, I lost track. It became like juggling jello. I, I, I had to figure out who was lying to whom, who knew what, who had lied about where they were that night, etc. So I started to reverse outline it, just so that in every instance I could say, my main character knows this at this point, but she doesn't know this. But this other character knows this, but they haven't revealed it yet. Just so that I could keep track of all that information. But it all came together and without any plotting. So for anybody who wants to tell you that you have to plot this kind of novel, I've proven it, you don't have to. I love taking characters and following them and giving them room to breathe and to develop. That is why I write. I write to find out who this person is, why they do the things they do. And so I follow them. And my problem with too much plotting is it feels like a writer is building an obstacle course, and their characters become puppets who they are manipulating through the obstacle course. whether the character wants to do something or whether they don't. And so I don't like doing that. I like torturing my characters, certainly. That's what we do as writers, right? We give them something they desperately want, and we establish how high the stakes are, and then we just like keep throwing rocks at them, and we're like, no, we're not going to give you what you want. And then I love putting them like at this dead end and then being like, okay, you figure it out. Take me where you're going to go. Let's see how you solve this. And it is so liberating. And I know that it comes from my mind. I know that, as a writer, it isn't magic, it comes from my subconscious, but I love seeing what they come up with, and what that reveals about my thinking. And also, I feel like we write Jake so that we can live all the lives we will never get to live. I love climbing into characters and seeing the world through their eyes and becoming them, whether they're diabolical, whether they're lovely people, because I just feel like it just enhances my whole experience of the world and my understanding of human nature.